Hey, thanks for tuning in to Lenny Schmidts Quarantine Comedy. How are you? First of all, number one, do me a favor. If you're watching the show, if you're watching the video, you do me a huge favor by just liking the video. If you do like it a lot, share it. That would go a really long way. And even subscribe to the channel if you want to keep updated on what's going on here. The Quarantine Comedy is a show where we talk to lots of different performers, entertainment professionals, all kinds of types, writers, producers, directors, showrunners, actors, musicians, guitar players, who should also be a musician, drummers, also a musician, people from cruise ships, techs, sound engineers, all kinds of people who are entertainment professionals. We talk to them about how they're dealing with COVID, how their careers have changed, and how they've reinvented themselves to move forward. If you do or do not know this, 77% of all people working in entertainment industry, in the live entertainment industry, lost 100% of their income. That is a true fact. You can Google it, look it up. I wouldn't make that up. Tons of people lost their jobs during COVID. Lots of people in live entertainment lost their jobs. And there's to think about it. There's no shows almost anywhere. A lot of states are still shut down, and you can't get out. You can't see a show. So this show gives them an opportunity to get back out in front of you, to let you know what they're doing, see how you can keep in touch with them, maybe buy their merch, buy their albums, see them online, see them live. It also gives you an opportunity to stay in touch with some of the people that you've enjoyed over the years. If you enjoy the show, do me a favor, support it as much as you can. Like I said, you could like the show, you could share it, you should subscribe. Here's the deal. Besides this show, I produce four different live streaming shows on the internet. They are all free. If you enjoy them, please watch them. We don't have any sponsors. If you want to sponsor, support, or donate to the show, you can do that. Bam, right there. There's a couple of options for you financially if you want to throw some cash. Here's how it works. As I said, 3 of the 4 shows I do are free. They don't cost you nothing. I know COVID sucks for everyone, so you can watch the show for free and get all kinds of free entertainment online. Be my guest, do so. If you watch the show and you enjoy it and you feel like you want to support it and you do want to pay for the 30-minute or 60-minute show that you watched, feel free to do so at any one of those options. You can go to my website, lennyschmidt.com/ifyoucan. There's a credit card and a PayPal button there. You can go to Venmo at Lenny Schmidt Comedy. You can go to Cash App at $ Lenny Schmidt Comedy also. And also the Patreon page. I'll explain that a little bit more at the end of the show. It's a way to support all the other shows that I'm producing online. If you can't afford it and you can't do it, that's cool. That's fine. I understand COVID is tough on everybody. Then you know what? Just sit back, enjoy the show, and enjoy today's guest. And we're going to get started here in 3, 2... I'm sorry. Hey, hi, how are you? What's going on? I forgot to see my desk over the shoulder. I forgot to clean it off. I literally just turned around and threw a bunch of shit on my floor. It was a whole bunch of shit. I just threw it right on my floor. And that includes a burrito, I think. There's a burrito on my floor right now. I'm going to have to pick it all up in a second. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Lenny Schmidts Quarantine Comedy. It's good to be here. What's going on? How are you? Thanks for tuning in. Again, as always, you guys are great. Great support from the followers. You guys are dynamite. It's good to be here. It's I'm in California. You all know that's it's freezing here. It's cold. I know before I get really bad comments from all the people from Illinois watching and Indiana. I'm sorry, I forgot there's people from Indiana. All right, maybe it's not that cold. And it's pretty cold, man. It's like 50s here. It's 40s at night. It's like 41. It's cold. I'm not a fan of how cold this is. So that's what's going on here in California, man. Restaurants are opening up this week. The outdoor dining opens as of Friday, man. If you guys are in California, yay! You can go out to eat if you want. You do. I'm not gonna go. I don't know if I'm gonna go out to eat, but you know you can. It's cold. It's gonna be rainy tomorrow too. Tomorrow it's gonna be raining. Wow, it's a lot of bitching about the weather. You know, I did move to California for a reason. Part of the reason was the fantastic weather, and we're not having it this weekend. So there you go. What else did I want to mention? Oh, yeah. The restaurants are opening up, so we can go out. But that's good news. The bad news is we now have to wear 6 masks and a burlap sack before we go anywhere. So you have to put a big burlap sack over. So now you'll never know who you're having dinner with, which is fine. That's fine with me. That's where you're not really talking to anyone. I don't want to bring something now. That's fine. What else in the news? You guys, some of you ship guys, Carnival ship cruise members, or people that watch it are cruisers. I think we're still where we were at the other day. Carnival canceled a bunch of cruises again. I'll be honest with you, from when I talked to some people and what I've heard, it honestly looks like, I'm just going to say this, it looks like if you are a cruiser, August. Think of August of when ships will sail. I don't have any concrete information for that. But since, I worked on ships nonstop before the stupid virus, I talked to a lot of people, and what I'm hearing now is it's going to be August. So I know it's shitty news. That's bad news if you're a cruiser and a comic that works on a ship. That's actually not very positive either. And that's all I got in the news. Everything else in the news I don't want to talk about. I don't care. I don't care. If you're a baseball fan, no one was voted into the Hall of Fame. Oh, this is interesting. I just saw this is cool. Dylan McDermott joins NBC's Law and Order: Organized Crime. It's a new show coming out. The cool thing about that show, Christopher Milani's in it. Milani. Christopher Milani. He brings back his role as Stabler. He's going to be Stabler again. Stabler's coming back. See? That makes me happy. So that's something to look forward to. Dude, my bar of things to look forward to has gotten so slow over the last year. You know what I mean? It's like before it used to be, boy, if I can get off in the port, if we can get 5 hours in port, that way I can have a steak and then hang out on the beach for 3 hours and I can have dinner with this girl. We can have a drink. It'll be great. And now it's just like, I hope I can get up tomorrow. That's it. That's all my goal is really when I get every day. All right, let's say hello to everyone that's here. Man, we got a lot of people watching. This is really impressive. If you are watching the show, once again, please do me a favor. Like the video. Like it. The little thumbs up button below the video. It's down here, like right here. I know many of you have not liked it. There's many viewers and less likes. So don't tell me you're watching it and not liking it. That makes no sense. You can like the video if you can. I would really appreciate it. Okay. Let's say hello to everyone that's here. Gar, how are you, man? Good to be here. Happy Wednesday. The Runnions, of course, are here. Ben Magley, he's in Wisconsin, Green Bay to be specific. I'm pretty sure it's a lot colder up there. The Runnions are here. You guys are here. The Mulligans are here. Look at this. It's a full slate. Robin Greenberg is here, of course. I don't want to not say Robin Greenberg. Rachel Zimmerman is back. Hi, Rachel. Good to see you. Lots of people here. Lori Solanka. Yay! Lori, here's... also, the Cups are going out this week. Everybody, look, here they are. If you didn't see them yesterday, or you didn't see them the other day, bam, there you go. There's the official Quarantine Comedy Cups. And they will be shipped out to the Patreon members by the end of the week. So there you go. 18 degrees in Illinois. I apologize, Gar. You're right. I'm out of line. Ben Magley, it's 0 degrees in Wisconsin. All right, I'll shut up about the weather. Okay, you guys win. Shut up. I agree. Let's just let it go. There you go. Everybody click the like button. All right, let's go. I got a lot of stuff to cover today, folks. We got a lot of things. I'm excited about today's show, man. I want to, I worked with this young lady years ago. We shot a couple of things. We shot a short film together, and we did a Doritos commercial. Years ago, they used to have these deals where you shot a Doritos commercial, and you submitted it, and we did that. So let's take a look. Hang on, I want to find the right clip. There's a particular clip I wanted to play of her, and we're going to do it. Here we go, folks. This is Jill-Michele Melean.
You're going to take a bite of the bagel pie, and then I want you to imagine that you're a woman in her 30s. You're smart, attractive, an emotionally available woman. You have a great career. You've been with your boyfriend for about 3 years, and you're finally ready to make a commitment. Settle down, have a baby. And you stop at P.F. Chang's on the way home after a long day at work to pick up some Kung Pao chicken and duck sauce, because that's how he likes it. And then you turn, and you see him in the corner booth, groping some hooker named Tammy that works in his office. You stand there for a moment, stunned, speechless, so hurt. And you turn your head and you go home, and without thinking, you grab a gallon of Chunky Monkey that you keep in the freezer, and you sit on the couch and you realize that you are smart and strong and you deserve better and you can be better. You don't need this. And then this douche walks in the door and says he was at a late meeting. Empowered and with a sense of realization, you look him deep in the eyes and say,
folks, please welcome to the show right now, Jill-Michele Melean. There she is. Yeah, round of applause.
And the crowd goes wild.
They go crazy. That's my clapping. They're all clapping. What
Thank you.
what is that? What is? I looked at a bunch of stuff from you today, but man, what is that clip from? That scene is unbelievable. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh, thank you. That was a pilot that I did. Holly Wartell and Ruben Dario wrote it, and Holly Wartell directed it. If those of you that don't know Holly Wartell, she was best friends with Chris Farley. She's one of the best improvisers out there, kind of a guru of Second City. If people know what Second City is, that's like the comedy mecca of comedians. Yeah. So that was a good time, though. You can tell there's a lot of emotion, true emotion behind that.
It was so raw. It was unbelievable because you hit all the levels, man. You hit the strong, confident thing, and then the happy thing, and then the shock, and then the anger. And my favorite part of the whole thing is he was at a meeting. You do this little move, like your head's gonna tweak. Yeah. Oh my God, I was laughing so hard. Yeah, it's a great scene. It's a really great scene. Yeah. I loved it.
Thank you. It's so funny. It's funny to look back at old clips and go, you can see like with the hair and makeup it was like a different time, you know, like when it was, you had like the chola, like it was like nice and thin. I don't think, Lenny, you did that, but girls did that.
I didn't do that. That wasn't my department. It didn't look good on me. I got a bunch of headshots like that, but I got rid of them. They're not very strong at all. That's good. But that was beautiful. So how you doing, man? How's it going?
Hanging in there.
Yeah.
So, we're making it happen, staying busy, leaning into action. I talked to some friends and they're just like, yeah, this is great waking up at noon. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about because I just don't have that personality. I have to create. So, I'm up at, 7, 8 o'clock and just go. And it's sometimes I wonder what's wrong with me. So it's like, why? Just rest. Like
no, I get exhausted. Looking at your Instagram. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. You're like going like 150 miles an hour, 24 hours a day. It's impressive. It's pretty insane. And you're into the cycling thing too. I saw you. So you're doing that you get the physical thing and
Well, not so much anymore because, it was interesting because, a couple of comics that are really close friends of mine, we did a big fundraiser when I was, instructing cycling. And people were like, why are you doing cycling? Like, why are you an instructor now? And so I invited a couple comics over and they rode and they went, oh, I get it, because it's being on stage. So living in Los Angeles, I had to come back from being on the road so much and really like push a little harder for film and television and be here. And I was like, I'm not getting my stage fix. So a friend of mine says that, runs a big company, was like, you've always been an athlete. You're always at the gym. Why not get paid to work out and instruct? And I was like, yeah.
I never even thought about that aspect of it. That's brilliant. Because I go to the gym.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I used to go to the gym, back when the world was normal. I used to go all the time, but I never got in the classes. But, at the gym, there you can see the classes and the instructors are like, yeah, you're right. They're just cranking. You know what I mean? I know a few that do 2 or 3 classes a day and they're bouncing around. But yeah, you're performing. You're right. You're basically performing for a room full of people. Yeah. That's brilliant.
Yeah. And so you go from getting people drunk to getting people, healthy. So it kind of balances out.
So you've hit both ends of the gamut. This is a much healthier route to go to. Smart move, too, to finish up with the healthy one. You know what I mean? You're like, I can't do this bar thing is too much. Maybe I can get people to sweat and work out. That's brilliant. That's good.
Well, I mean, it actually worked, to my advantage in a sense because of the pandemic and everything being shut down. Most of our comic friends, they're like out of work, they're trying to create content online, and I can still do private training because I have that and I have these relationships, and a lot of people went from the gym to private training. So I still have a little bit of that fix in a sense. So it keeps me busy. I'd much rather be on set and I'd much rather be on stage and all that stuff, but at least it's something right now, some coping skills.
Yeah, like I was talking before, I always talk about this. Everybody would rather I'd rather be on a beach. I'd rather be doing shows. I'd rather be doing whatever. So the hard thing about this whole, and it's been a year now, almost a year, is to
Yeah.
get yourself into a mindset where I always tell my kids this to make the best out of the situation you're in. But, you know, and it's a stupid cliche, but you turn apples into, or lemons into apples into, you turn apples into lemonade is what you do, Jill. That's how you do.
That's what
Yeah.
you do.
But you find a way, you got to find a way to make the best of the situation you're stuck in. And that's brilliant. That's, you know what I mean? That's the only thing you can do.
Yeah, I think when for myself, and I hope this might be helpful to some people out there that are just like, oh, I just can't get motivated, is that when you have responsibility and you have people that are relying on you to show up, it forces you to get out of bed. It forces you to do things that probably in that moment you're like, I just like even Lenny, asking me to do this thing. I'm like, I just want to get home and get high. Like I'm so tired. And then it's like, oh, I can't do that yet.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Lenny.
God. That's a whole hour without a bong. I don't know if I can do that.
I know. What am I going to do?
Oh,
What are you doing to me?
This is stupid. I'm busy.
I am
What's
slammed.
So you're quarantined now. Are you quarantined? Where you at? Are you in Beverly Hills now? I think I said, is that correct? Okay, cool. All right. Are you now? Are you going out at all? Or are you doing are you locked in the house thing, or what's the deal?
No, I have a pod of people that
Right.
we're really safe with each other, so that's helpful. And then also like when I train clients, I'm outdoors with them and I'm over 8 feet apart and I'm wearing a mask. So I'm still able to have some kind of interaction with humans. So it's, in real life. So that's good. And also like I have friends that are like out in Temecula area, which is about an hour and a half away, and they've already had COVID, so that's okay. So I can go visit them.
So you got a whole group of friends that already had it. They should have they should have an
it
app
might
for
be
that. It's like a COVID Tinder app, is what it is. You just find people. If you had the COVID, yes, swipe left, swipe left, swipe left. We can have lunch. Let's all have lunch. That makes sense.
That is actually probably going to come out soon.
Yeah, now that I said it, there's somebody at home going, "That's a great."
It'll be amazing.
Yeah. It'll be developed by the end of the show. I'm like, oh look, it's on the App Store already. That's brilliant. Good for you. That's funny. That's good. Well, that's good, man. Because you definitely don't seem like the type of person that could not have social interaction or people. You know what I mean? You seem like you got. You're like you're the person that walks in the room and the whole room. You like another cliche. The room lights up. You get so much energy. You walk in and you're being near you, you're motivated. Like, well, Jill's here. We better get him to do something. You know what I mean? So.
Well, the funny thing is, at the beginning of this whole thing, when we had to quarantine, I was like, this is amazing. And I finished a screenplay that I was working on, and I finished another pilot. And because I like to be home, but I'm very like creative. It's like, and then after those 2 weeks were up, I look up and I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like, can we leave? I have to get out. So I realized that I'm introverted sometimes.
Right.
Then there's I have to get my my people fixed. It's a very it's a very strange thing, but not so much like strangers. Like I don't really want to talk to everybody at Trader Joe's and stuff, but
no, yeah, right. I'm one of those people. Like I like to be out, but I don't want to be bothered unless I want to talk to someone.
Yeah.
But I'm noticing by talking to people, all comics seem to have that. All comics have that. They're really introverts, but then at some points they're not. You know what I mean? Where they're outgoing, and it's a weird. It's almost like a Virgo balance thing where it's up and down, one side of the scale or the other. Because I'm the same way. There's plenty of times when I don't want to go out, I don't want to do anything. But there's times when I'm like this. I want to see a lot of people.
Yeah, and I mean, and as a comic too, there's this immediate gratification from audience that is it makes us thrive, and it makes us feel like, people always say, oh, purpose, do you have purpose? And yeah, it makes me feel like I have a purpose when I see people laughing and it's immediate and I go, oh my God, I did that. I made them laugh. That's so cool. And so we don't really have that. Luckily, there's these things that like your podcast where we can talk. I see you laugh and I'm making my friend laugh. So like, you're like, oh, okay, I'll take that,
Yeah.
But there's nothing better than a big group of strangers all applauding for you and just saying you're amazing. It just feels so good.
Yeah. No, I'm starting to, I miss it hardcore. Also, again, as far as comics go, I think it's almost like a mentality thing. Like I don't know what your upbringing was, but the where I came from, it's kind of that look at me, mom type thing where
Yeah.
I need affirmation from a room full of people who don't know who I am every once in a while, and I go home and go, I feel pretty good about myself. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
weird. And then when you don't have it, and if I didn't have this show, I started this right away because I'm like, I got to do something.
Right.
I didn't know what to do, but I'm like, I got to get out there and do something. And I also found that it works better for me to do something live. So this is live on streaming, so that helps big time.
Right.
But if I didn't have that information from people, and I've learned to look at the people type messages. That's so weird about this time. Has you ever done a Zoom show or something where people make a comment about a joke, or have you done any type of Zoom stand up or internet streaming stand up?
Yeah, I was doing more. I didn't want to do straight stand up because I understand that's like it's a very strange thing, but I
Yeah,
did like where well, actually that's a lie. I actually did one that
that's
I
a
was
lie.
stand up and it was bizarre. It was so bizarre. And after that I was like, no, if it's an interview and we're just being funny and maybe you can lead me into like a story or something like that,
Right.
then okay, cool. But it just doesn't, for me, it doesn't read the same. But I mean, luckily, for comedy, if people are like, oh, where can I see you? At least I have that special that's on Amazon Prime. So
Right.
at least people can watch, even though that's a couple years old, and I talk about dating, which that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Um, they're like meeting people out. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's weird.
Um, it's so weird. I do have a question for you, though. I wanted to ask.
What? No one asked me questions on this
Yeah,
show.
no,
Oh
I
my
need to
God, you're
ask
the
you a
first
question.
ever. Okay.
As a comic and thinking like going back when things finally open, how do you feel because of all of this whole PC movement going back? Do you have to like rewind and go, I can't do that joke, I can't do that joke, I can't do this one, I can't do that one anymore? Or are you just like, I'll be fine?
You know what? I actually did that with my act almost a year before the COVID shut down. Because when I noticed, like, I've never been the type of comic that divides the room, and I don't do a lot of political stuff. You know what I mean? All my stuff
Right,
is kind of about life and stuff. So what I did do though is because I was starting to get beef about some of my stuff that was too misogynistic. So I go, you know, maybe I
Mm,
need to take a look at my act and see what needs to come out. And there was only like one or two things I really needed to update or change, and the rest of it I just let go for character. I go, well, that's my character, and if you don't like it, then don't watch it. But most of my other stuff
that's cool.
hasn't been an issue, and the other PC stuff, as far as especially political, and I don't get very news. You know, it's all about divorce and my kids and life and dating and the stuff. It's very similar, like you do. You're talking your dating bit. I'm going to play a clip from your special here in a second. I got a
Oh,
clip
okay.
from. I'll play.
Okay.
Let me play a
Yeah.
clip. In fact, let's play the clip first because I got a question for you. There was another clip I wanted
Okay.
to play, which is even. Wait, where's your clip? Oh, there it is. Okay, here we go. All right, this is from and it's called. You want to set it up? Why don't you set it up? This is your deal. Go ahead.
I don't know what clip you're showing.
Well, it's the trailer for the new Amazon. It's the one on Amazon, the white Latina, correct? This is the one you wanted to put.
Yeah,
This is the
there's
one.
two different ones. I'm not sure which clip you're going to show. You can set it up.
Okay, well then I know this is the trailer. It's got two or three different. This is the trailer. Let's play. Let's stop.
Okay, great.
Let me stop talking and I'll play this. I'll just do this. Let's do
Okay.
it.
What happened to the good old days? The good old days where we could go to a bar and pick somebody up. You know, you go out with your whore friends and... Because you have to have at least one whore friend, you know that, right? Yeah, you have to have one. I call them bait. You throw them at the bar, see what they bring back, you know? Growing up, we didn't have Moana or Maleficent or Brave. You know, we were stuck with Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Beauty and the Beast. So my fantasy of love has always been a gay man in tights or a hideous beast with anger management issues. Do you realize that the CIA does not need to waterboard terrorists? Do you realize this? They just need to stick a terrorist in a room full of kids asking why. They will get all the information they need, right? They're like, send in the kids. Why? What is this American torture? What is this? My mom is Irish and my dad is Bolivian. Yeah, of course they're divorced, of course. An Irish and a Bolivian. Come on the outside I look like a white girl. You think I'd be like, hey, how y'all doing? Thanks for coming, thank you. But on the inside, I'm a Latina.
Yeah, all right. That's the trailer to the special that's on Amazon. You forget. Look at you. You forgot it. I forgot. All right. It's a good trailer. I haven't watched the whole special yet, but what I did watch, I want to ask you about this now. I am going to put you on the spot here. Hold on. Oh shit. I fucked something up. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. Oh, no, I did not. Okay. I want to play. I have another stand-up clip. You could set this up, but I'm telling you right now, I don't know where it's from. Let me see. It's on Chick Comedy, okay? And it's it's old. It's an old bit.
You can't play that. That's probably like from when is that? Like from 2000?
It's 2015. I will either play the clip or I'm going to ask you about the bit because the bit is really good. It's your call.
All right, what's the bit?
Your hair is different. Wrong guys. It's wrong guys. The bit's called Wrong Guys, and you do a bit about being the signs girl. The signs girl. You're the signs girl. That everything's a sign.
Oh, okay. Play it. I want to watch it.
Okay, it's really funny. Okay, that's why.
Okay.
Okay, this is another clip. Here we go. All right, let's go.
I'm glad to be engaged though, because I never thought I was gonna get married. I never imagined, because I wanted to get married, but I was just dating the wrong guys. Like I was that girl that was like everything was assigned to me, you know? I was trying to find the one, you know, but I got my signs all screwed up. I was like, oh my God, it's a full moon. We're supposed to be together. Oh my God. You know, I met the ex before him. I met him at a bar, and I had just gotten birth control. I had just gotten an IUD, and he had just gotten a DUI, and I was like, oh my God. It's stupid what happened to me. And the guy before my fiance, because I was like, you know, forget it. It's never gonna happen. So I dated a 19-year-old. I did. Thank you, I deserved it, thank you. Oh my gosh, the romance was terrible though. 19, if you're 19, I'm sorry, rent some movies, I'm sorry. I'm serious. We were on the couch, and I'm thinking he's gonna get all romantic and stuff. I'm like, woohoo, yeah, let's go. Huh? He leans over and he grabs my breast and he goes, honk, honk.
Okay, I'm sorry. I love that. I love the signs bit is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. I've never heard that before. That's so brilliant.
I totally forget. You know, old comedy, you forget sometimes. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh my God, I read that bit. Like, that's crazy. Like,
yeah. So sometimes you find one and you're like, oh, I got to write that down again. That's actually.
I know. I was like, oh, there's a whole thing I can do a bunch of about that now. Like, even way more.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Because your mind, you're the same person, and it's just 5 years later. Mm-hmm. So suddenly your thought process from there blends right into your thought process now. And you're a better writer now. You're a better performer. Yep. So suddenly you're finding ways to weed this stuff into your act. Now you're like, oh shit, I could do that. That sounds like that's a really good premise.
Totally. Like I'm like, I can write a whole 5-minute bit now about that. Yeah. I got lots of signs about everything. Signs about like, should I go this way or that way? Oh my God, that's funny. Okay, so what did you want to ask me about that one?
That was the only. No, I can't remember. Did you? First of all, are you married? I know you got married.
No, I didn't get married. I was engaged for quite some time, probably like 3 years.
Shitty subject. Was that a shitty subject? I should have ran that by.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
No, he had Tourette's syndrome, and he was a supermodel, and he had Tourette's. So go figure. He was really, really pretty. But in the end, it was I just couldn't deal with too much ticking. I thought he was just winking at me, but no, turned out he was just ticking away. No, he's a very nice person. It's just I have this tendency, and I don't know, just because maybe I'm a comic or whatever, but I just used to attract alcoholics left and right. Like I don't know what it was, because I like to drink and have fun.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a pattern thing, and like, yeah, well, just you know what? It's a pattern though. It's a pattern. When I got divorced, I went to therapy, and my therapist told me, He's like, dude, he's like, every girl you date for the next year is going to be just like your ex-wife. I'm like, that's bullshit. There's no way. There's no way, man. I went through 15 years. There's no way. And the first 2 girls I dated, after about a week, I was like, oh my God, he's totally dead on. And it's just it's something about a pattern, man. It's something about what you attract to something or code. I don't know what the hell you call it. I'm not a therapist, but he was right. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, okay, I totally understand that, so.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I think I've now broken the pattern, but it was like boom, boom, one after the other, after the other. I was like, oh my gosh.
Right.
So now I mean, listen, I'm single, and the thought of going on a date during COVID just is not something I would do, which there are people that are doing it, which
Yeah.
I find crazy. Like,
Well,
but
it's been
whatever.
a year. It's been a year. I remember
Yeah.
when COVID first started, I was still looking at the apps, like, just trying. And then after a while, I was like, this is ridiculous. I can't be going out. You know what I mean? This can't be. And I was wondering why. I thought my Tinder was broke. I'm like, well, nobody's on Tinder right now. We're into a quarantine. You know what I mean? But it's such a weird time. But people, like, not even just dating, like meeting strangers is a weird thing right now. Where you're just like, hey, from a distance, you know what I mean? You're like, hey, see you. Like you said, you have a pod. I have a circle of friends, and that's it. Those are the people I see that I know normally. Everything else is just too weird and risky.
Yeah, and and everybody has their different things, like there's some people that are like, oh, take your mask off. That's ridiculous. Come here, give me a hug, and then there's some people that are just like, okay, you can come over, we're going to be outside, and we have to be, 8 feet apart. And if you get closer, put your mask on. And if not, you can have your mask off, but make sure you're at least 8 feet.
Right.
And then you respect it, whatever anybody's wishes are. You're just like, I always ask ahead of time, can I hug you? Like, because you just don't know. I do like it though, however, where people can't be like right up on you anymore. Like if you're out at the grocery store, remember how like there were some people that used to be like, and you're like, oh my God, get off me.
Yeah.
And now
yeah.
you have an excuse to be like, excuse me.
Yeah. Do you mind? There's the thing. I don't know if you know, there's the thing right now. Yeah. When this first came out, I was like, maybe, because I always thought of it from an airplane standpoint. I'm like, maybe we shouldn't be cramming so many people into a plane. You know what I mean? Maybe we shouldn't be crammed into certain areas. You know what I mean? And that's what I look at now is when you go to a place and everything's spread out, even a restaurant where it's not packed in there. How many times you go to dinner and they're squeezing a table in between a pole and like the bar section? You know what I mean? We can fit 2 more. Like, no, it's all right. I'll wait. I'm good. It's no big deal. So you're right. It's nice to have the space.
Remember it?
Oh God.
In New York,
anywhere. Yeah, anywhere there was an open space, you're like, why are we in the alley? What's zoning? It works.
Hey.
All right.
Yeah, I have I've flown twice now since quarantine started, and the first time was pretty much at the beginning where we still thought that things lived on surfaces, and that was freaky. I was really nervous about that, but I survived. I took like as many precautions as I could. And then this last one was for Christmas. After my pup passed, I was like, I can't stay here. So I wore 2 masks, a shield. I wore a hat. I wore this jacket, and I had spray, and I had the wipes, and I had the other squeeze. And I got a whole row each time. Each time I made sure I had the whole row, and I didn't touch anybody. And I was like this. And if I had to drink something, I went underneath my 2 masks, and I like poured it under my shield. And I was like, oh, like this. And I was okay. I was luckily I was okay. I got to see my family and, get back safely. But it was nerve-wracking, definitely nerve-wracking to fly. And we always fly everywhere. So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't really stay put. So I miss flying, and I miss going to all these places. And I was just like, and one thing I was like, always, if my pup passed, because he was in 2 movies with me. He was in a TV show. He would fly everywhere with me. They'd give him baskets when I go do stand up. There would be baskets in the room waiting for him, not for me.
Yeah, he's getting more love than you are. He's getting all the attention. That's smart.
God.
Yeah.
Everyone loved Mr. Jack.
Mr. Jack, right? Mr. Jack. Okay.
Mr. Jack. Yeah. So it was like, and I told him, I said, the day that you transition, I'm going to go to Europe and sprinkle all your stardust all over Europe, because that's the one place we didn't go, because I stayed home and didn't go to Europe because since he couldn't go because of like, he would have to be quarantined if we went to Europe. And I was like,
right.
oh, yeah. So,
Oh God, it's the last
and now
thing you
I
want to do.
can't go. Now I can't even go.
Now I can't go.
So I'm just like, I'm waiting like this, open. Oh, it's like, but we need to be safe. I understand that. I understand that. So it's
the vaccine goes around and everybody gets the vaccine, and they're talking now about everybody has to take a test to fly a plane, which I'm fine with. I'm like, that's cool. That's fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
I'm all about being safe. That was never, I flew once. I flew in October to do a gig during all of this. And there was one guy there who was not, he was walking around. He's a guy always has an excuse to have his mask off. He's one of those guys. So you're like,
oh yeah.
So, and he's like, well, it's the plane and blah, blah. And I'm like, well, if you see a guy like that, that's not the only time he's done that. He's doing it 24/7 at 7-Eleven, and he's a million things going on. So, you it's not just trusting. It's almost like safe sex. You can't just trust him. It's who he's been with the last, 5 or 6 times that you're worried about.
I haven't been with anybody, baby. I haven't been with anybody. You're like, I don't think so.
It's straight, sincere lie. Yeah. Oh, really? I'm the exception. Okay, that seems to make sense to me. I'm the one.
Exactly.
All right, I gotta ask you a question. People are making comments every once in a while. I have a lot of support. I don't have a ton of supporters, but they're loyal and they watch all the shows, and they always ask. Every once in a while they have questions, and people have asked. Brenda really liked your clip, and she can't wait to see your special. And Brenda Runyon, she's one of my Patreon fans. She follows all the shows, and she wants to know her question. I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to ask you. I posted an interesting picture of you. What made you do your makeup differently on each side of your face? That's the picture I used.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the cover of the special, which everyone can watch on Amazon Prime for free. Make sure you leave a good comment, because there's some trolls out there. So, but why is because growing up and also in the industry, people always go, what are you? So I look like a white girl, but if I put darker lipstick and like darken up my eyebrows and put my hoop earrings, then all of a sudden I'm a Latina. All of a sudden I can do like that. And I'm a Latina. So half of my face, this is my Latina face, see? Claro que sí. And then this is my white girl face. Like, hey, I'm here. Hi. Yeah, so I have like a crooked face. So every time, like, it's the funniest thing. I can transform.
Oh my God, it works without the makeup too, kind of. You can kind of see the, once you do the thing, you're like, oh my God.
Like,
yeah, I like it.
And then this is like,
totally. Hey, hi, I'm Jill.
So that's like, and I always do that. So like when I would go in for Latin roles, I would go in and go like this and talk like this, and then they're like, oh, she's Latin. Oh my God. But if I walked in for a Latin role and I was like this, they're like, I don't know what you are.
Why are you here?
Yeah, why are you here? And and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Let me put my hoops on. And they were like, oh, hi. So that's where the white Latina came from.
That is so awesome to have that versatility as an actress. That's phenomenal. You know what I mean? That's to be able to go both of that. No, that's great. You're lucky to walk in and you can do either side. It opens up your parameters a little bit more,
It does in a sense, and I think it's opening up more doors now because they're showing that more Latinas are different shades of brown,
right. It's not the old Hollywood bullshit. Oh, look, there's a Latina,
Exactly.
Right.
Like where they all look the same, you're like, okay, yeah, everyone's very mixed now too. And, it's a different ball game. So I'm excited when things officially open up. I know some productions are starting up again, but when we can have pilots and all that, I'm excited to see where they're going to take this Latinx, thing that's happening. There's a big push of Latinx, which is for lighter skin Latinos or ambiguous Latinos. So,
really?
Yeah, so that'll be. I'm excited to see, because now I can play a mom. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, you totally play a mom. That's a great market for you. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So, really.
Is that the new genre? Is that a genre? Not a genre, but a character type? Latinx. That's what is that? Is that an actual phrase they're using?
Yeah, they're actually using that term. So it just means like you don't have to be the stereotype Latin, which is great.
Sure.
Because again, there's so many different shades of us, and we all look so different. Like my dad's from South America.
Right.
So it's like, so we have that more of that South American look, where if I go to South America, yeah, we all look pretty similar, you know, but in Mexico, I don't look, if I went there, they would be like, hey, white girl, what are you doing here? You know, so no, they'd be, orale, white girl, look at you.
Orale. Hey, white girl.
I see you.
That's cool. I never even thought about it. That's brilliant. That's very smart. Let me ask you this now, because when I was looking at your stuff, I told you the reason I have you on the show. I love your, not just you go out and you work out and you're motivated, but you constantly find a way in this industry where people are always trying to get a part and do something and get booked. You just do shit. You go out and write a script. You go out and shoot a film. You go out and do a pilot. I mean, you're constantly working. You're constantly doing something. It's amazing to see. You're an example I bring up to my daughters a lot, right? Like, you should see my daughter's studying acting, and she does comedy classes. She's going to college for film production and digital production. I mention you a bunch of times because I love professional actresses, women that are that go out and just make shit happen. You got to do your own thing, you know? Yeah. So, I mean, there was Meg, the movie you did a while ago, but you mentioned, I don't think it's out yet, but I think I saw clips of it, the movie you did with Carlos, A Witness Infection, which I read the bio to that, which looks hilarious. What's the deal on that, and when's it going to be ready? What's going on?
So that'll be available on demand in March of 2021.
Oh, sweet.
So
okay, good.
Yeah. So on my Instagram, I'll be doing tons of like pushes for it. My Instagram's at Jilly Online, Jilly Online. And I'll be doing tons of pushes. We'll have big promos coming out. We have an incredible cast. You know, unfortunately, we can't have a theatrical release because of the pandemic, but now all the films are going to on demand first. So you can have like your theater with your friends at home and your popcorn, your COVID free friends. And then, you know, and then we can, so that'll be March, and I'll have more announcements. But that's Carlos Rocky, and I don't know if people are fans of Reno 911, but he is like a brother to me. And I played his sister on Comedy Central's Reno 911, and we became really close friends. We toured together for, you know, almost 4 years. And he's like, I knew him before he met his wife. And then I met his wife. I'm like, you got to marry her. And then he has 2 little girls. Now they're not so little anymore. You know, they're growing up. But we've always had very similar mind frames. Like, we think really fast, and we're both kind of hyperactive. And then we crash. We're like those kids, those sugar kids are like, ah, and then we're like, so, we loved working together, traveling together, and we really wanted to do something cool and different. We both love horror. Like, we're big horror freaks. And then of course we're funny. So we were like, what if we do a mashup of like Shaun of the Dead meets Goodfellas? And we just soared with that idea. We created these amazing characters because we're character people. So we created these awesome characters to start with. And then we started to weave in this storyline, create this incredible structure, this outline, and then we attacked it. And as the script was polished, we got Funny or Die reached out to us and wanted to buy the script. And it was a turning point because I talked to Carlos, and I was like, you know, if we sell a script, that's it, you know, like we're going to be out, and that's it. Yeah. And I said, which is fine, because we'll make some money or whatever. But I was just in love with this script. Like, it was so good. It was so good and so different. And Carlos just turned and he goes, I'm going to fund it. Like, and I was like, oh my gosh, because, you know, Carlos is every cartoon voice on, you know, any cartoon you watch, Carlos is in there somewhere. And so I was like, are you serious? And we did. So we produced it. We got Andy Palmer attached as the director. He's an amazing director, and he's more horror based, but he gets comedy. So because we wanted it to live in this, like, Shaun of the Dead.
That's smart. Yeah.
Where Yeah. Yeah. So it's not
Yeah,
like
because you
Jill.
guys will bring but you guys will bring the comedy as long as the guy running the show
Exactly.
is embedded in the horror world or that world. The comedy is easy to add to the script if you're good enough. If you can do it, that's perfect blend. That's smart. That's brilliant.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So, and then that's what we did. And you know, same thing like Lenny, when we worked on, you know, our projects, it was like, we have a Rolodex of awesome friends. And we just went through our Rolodex, and we have incredible casting directors that are friends of ours too, that said, listen, if you need help, let us know. And they did
Right.
give us advice because we wanted to hire, you know, a couple of big mafioso guys, you know, like those, you know, like a Ray Liotta
Yeah.
or like a Paul Sorvino or something, and they were just like, "Don't do it." They're like, "Don't." They're like, "It is. You better go more youthful and put Carlos as one of the dads, and then hire someone that's popular, that's youthful right now." And they said because you'll get more out of them because these guys that are these big mafia, you know, legend guys, these actors, they want a lot of money and they
Right.
want to show up and do whatever they want. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, hell no.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Right.
yeah, so we did. And, you know, Brett Ernst is in it, which I'm sure you know
Yeah. He's a
Brett
comic,
from,
of course. Yeah.
yeah, he's a comic from, and he's on Cobra Kai right now. And then we have Erin Hayes, which is hilarious. She has that so many shows on Netflix right now. If you look up Erin Hayes, she was in Children's Hospital also. Um, and and then we have Monique Coleman from High School Musical that's in it. We have Tara Strong. I mean, just the list goes on and on and
Yeah.
on. So yeah, I'm really excited. I get to kick some zombie butt. And we had so much fun filming this, you know, and we shot it within 3 weeks. We worked really long hours. We were mainly out in Elsinore, Lake Elsinore,
Hmm.
which is kind of in the boonies in California. So we met a bunch of bikers up at the top at Hell's Kitchen, and we filmed at Hell's Kitchen. And
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
awesome.
yeah, and we had Jim Oldula did all the special effects and makeup. So he created this because it's an infection that happens. That's why it's called witness infection.
Right.
It's an East Coast mafia family sends over their favorite truck of taglione sausage to the West Coast, where these two families are in witness protection program, and he tries to wipe them out by infesting these sausages. So it's an infection that comes through the skin.
Oh,
So
that's
they
the. Oh my
created this
God, that's so funny. Okay,
really cool look. So
that's brilliant.
a lot of fun.
That's great, man. I can't. Oh my God, that sounds funny. I know, and Carlos very funny stand up as well, man. He's
Yeah.
hilarious. That's his. The script has got to be a scream. What platform is it coming out on? Do you know? Have any idea what's going to be or?
Right now, on demand and VOD will
Got
be
it.
in
Okay.
March, and then after that, so they have it as that release, like it will be theatrical, but in home
Yeah.
theatrical, and then from there we'll find out what platform it would be going on. So I encourage everybody to like support and get it on demand because that, you know, the popularity is everything. You know, this world, like hearts, hearts, hearts. You know, it's all about that, and then you know, the networks respond really well when they go, oh, people like it. We don't have to watch it, but people like it. So
Yeah,
let's buy
right.
it. Yeah,
That's when they show up when it's all done, and even
exactly.
smarter to shoot it on your own because that's no. The rule now is really smart not selling the script, and well, good for you for Carlos to step up and fund it, and because
Yeah.
now this is where you know what I mean. If you sell it and it does something, nobody cares about you in a way. You know what I mean? You're like it's gone
No,
and
yeah,
someone else succeeded, but if you hang on to it, now look at the story you just told me is phenomenal, and then if it's successful on top of that, you own it. It's your gig.
totally.
Smart.
And now, as like writers together, we know we write well together, and we're finishing up a second family comedy that we are finishing up right now that will be looking for funding. I think what it does to us also, it put me on the map as a producer, you know, where I
Yeah.
produced This Is Meg, which is available on Amazon Prime also. And This Is Meg was shot very indie style with lots of the scenes were held longer. I wanted it to feel
Right.
awkward. Very Duplass Brothers is where my mind was going with that film. And
Right.
then now with this comedy horror, this is very different. This is Shaun of the Dead. This is fast paced. This is moves. You know, there's jokes, 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 jokes. So it's like, and then I finished up a thriller, you know, that I just wrote that is being shopped around right now that is based on a true story of a con man that I dated. Hey, how about that? It's what you
Is
get when you live in Los
really
Angeles.
is that one of the XXXs? That's what you said in that line. That's my
Uh,
XX before the XXX. A con man.
XX and X and X. It's an interesting thing because I feel like I could be a relationship therapist on all the
Yeah,
relationships I've
you know. Well, living in LA, being single, yeah, I would imagine. You know what I mean? You see a lot of the con man didn't. He didn't hurt you, did you? He didn't like. Did he con other people? He didn't con you, did he?
he conned other people. So for me, physically, I didn't
Oh,
get hurt.
thank God. All right.
I'm very lucky. I think it's because I caught on pretty quickly.
Right.
But it was someone that had stalked me on the internet for years and had come to shows that I had no idea. And then when I started to putting the pieces together, you're just like, because he seemed like, my script is called Prince Charming because he seemed like Prince Charming.
Sure.
And you're as a little girl, you grow up watching Disney.
God, that was
So
so
you
creepy.
go, yeah. So you think like, is this for real? Like, a part of you doesn't believe it but then the other part goes, why would I destroy something that could be possibly amazing?
Yeah.
But then I was like, like I started to feel it out, and I'd never met a sociopath before, so it was really interesting afterwards to work with psychotherapists and
Right.
understand what sociopaths are, and then was able to connect with his exes because of being a public figure. They responded to me when I reached
Right.
out, and the stories I heard, Lenny,
Yeah.
whoa. I was like, I was so protected
Right.
because poor women, and still in the end, you could hear the little bit of that they still were trying to protect him somewhat. Like there was still a part of them that was trauma bonded with him. So
Right.
it's an interesting, the reason I wrote it too, it's important, I think, for the mainstream audience to know this kind of story. And from a perspective of coming from truth, where we have like the Dirty John that's on Lifetime or, all that kind of stuff. But this is another level. It's more of the way I'd like this to get made. And I want to sell this script would be more like a Fatal Attraction, and it's a modern day Fatal Attraction where this is can easily people can be blindsided because of social media and what we have our goggles onto now and what we think is acceptable. And whereas maybe, I don't know, 30 years ago or something, people would be like, yeah, why, whatever. But now we're like, oh,
Right.
okay, everything's shiny
Well,
now.
so much of what we go through on a daily basis has become an illusion. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's all Instagram. It's all look at this, and like even your character, your persona you put forth on social media for other people to see is what you're creating. Is what you want people to see. Nobody puts out their shitty stuff. Nobody puts out like me bad in the morning or So you're painting a picture which is an illusion. So the whole world is now we're all feeding off these illusions. The whole world is filled with them, and sociopaths strive in that type of situation. The thing with the sociopath is you don't understand that you can't comprehend how they think, because then you hear how they think or what they do and you're like, they can't, oh my God, how do you just do that and that's okay? But they do because they're sociopaths and you just don't.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand what, they go, well, why did I attract this? No, it's a different breed. It's a breed of, I learned like sociopaths, if you are making them feel good, then they really genuinely like you.
Sure.
It's truthful in that moment. But the minute you don't make them feel good, they go, I don't like you. I'm going over here. And it doesn't matter how much investment
Sure.
you have with them or they have with you.
Yeah.
It's that quick of a switch.
Yeah.
And so it's like freaky. It's a pretty scary. There's no loyalty at all.
Well, there's no empathy either. There's no empathy at all.
No.
You don't have any understanding for the person you're with. When the second you don't get what you want, you hurt that person back without a blink of an eye and don't even think about it. You just go,
Don't even think about it.
and then you're shocked when people or someone's like, "How could you do that?" You go, "What do you mean?" They're shocked that their behavior is weird. It's a fault. It's a thing, man, where you're off. Your brain is off, and that's the way you treat people that way.
100%. And we have to, even be careful with people that like aren't sociopaths. One thing I've been doing in quarantine is I've been really studying a lot of neurology and neurologists. And the neurologists talk about being on social media for so many hours and it releases the dopamine in the brain. So you're being overly stimulated. And so when you put your phone down and you look out, you're like, huh?
Right.
Because nothing is as glamorous or nothing's as amazing, in person anymore because your dopamine has been drained.
Right.
So it's an interesting thing because right now in the pandemic, and I know some cities and everything are open, but the majority of people are staying safe. That is our form of entertainment and communication. So it's like you have to find a healthy balance, and I think it's a new level of learning for everybody.
Well, I did. This pandemic. I mean, there's no good time for a pandemic, but this couldn't have come at a worse time because we're living in a society where everybody's diving into their phones all the time anyway now. So in the last year, everybody has been forced to dive into their phones, so to speak. You know what I mean? Where you just jump
Yeah.
right back into social media and you connect. And I try to teach my kids all the time the importance of just being present. I'm a big believer in just being. And they're, well, this is stupid. I go, no, it's not. There's nothing wrong with just sitting in this sunny out and it's a beautiful day and we're here. Well, yeah, but I'm bored. There's no bored. Just be. Just be. You know what I mean? And a lot of people can't. It's not that they can't. When I was younger, I would think it would be stupid to be bored. But I think kids today and a lot of people today can't comprehend how to do that. They just can't understand it. Does that make sense?
No. And again, because scientifically, because the dopamine has been drained,
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid and I'd lay in the back seat of the car. My parents were on like some, road trip or something. And I'd stare at the clouds and I'd make pictures in the clouds and I'd see things. And in my imagination, that one was
Right. Right.
talking to this one. And I would do all this kind of stuff. And it's like today, even when I went into my bathroom and I looked outside, I was like, oh my God, the clouds are so pretty. And I stopped and I looked at the clouds. I'm like, when have I done this? I haven't done this in a long time. Like
Right.
really sat and found pictures in the clouds, because picking up our phone and just seeing like, hey, who's up to what is so much of a habit and so much easier
Yeah.
now than making the effort. And I think that's as it's getting older too. Neurologists have, they're what I've really taken away is that we have to really try harder to focus, and because it's a harder thing for us as we get older. And it's always been hard for me because of apparently ADHD,
Yeah.
which I never was medicated. I would just work out.
Yeah. Right.
And still to this day, that's why I work out, because it helps me focus better. And the more we have to focus, because it's like straining, because we do, as especially because of our phones, you have to strain to focus on something, whether that's looking at the clouds or the trees or whatever. And then you do, and something happens. It feels like this, like it opens up, and all of a sudden now, staring at the tree, you see the veins in the leaves that you didn't see before. You
Yeah.
start to see those little ants that are crawling into some weird hole on the side, and it's like, it's really actually awesome,
Yeah.
and I mean, I know I'm guilty of it, and I have to do it more every day. Like even if it's 5 minutes a day, to take that time and to really just kind of hit that refresh button, so they
Yeah, well,
say.
it's important to let your mind do that. That's right there with the being present thing. Like if you're present, you sit around, you're noticing the littlest things in the world. You're noticing the dust on the shelf. You're noticing the bleeping light. You're noticing outside the wind, the way the tree moves. I mean, your mind is thinking about these things and you're reacting. The problem with the phone is that everything's catered to you. Everything's already done. There's no imagination involved. It's just bam, here's a short clip, bam, here's another one, bam, here's a video, bam, here's a picture, and you just watch it, and it's mindless, swiping left and watching videos and so forth.
Totally. And I think, as far as like, that's why I love Instagram, because there's so many just like fun pictures, and you see, and you can kind of go through it pretty quickly and watch stories. I like to watch stories, but there also is a little meditation that I do before I get on there now. And I've been practicing this for the last year, and it's actually helped, where I look at it like, now I'm going to be entertained, as
Right.
opposed to, let me see what Lenny's doing. Let me see that, because then it becomes a comparison thing. And then you're like, oh, well, look at them. They're all on a yacht somewhere. Why are they on a
Yeah.
yacht? And it's the pandemic where you just go, they're crazy, and like you just
Yeah.
like and push it through, and you just like, where now it becomes, because like you said, it's everyone's showing what they want to show,
Right.
so it's like, So if they're showing that, then okay, then they're living their best life in that moment. But it doesn't mean like they're having marital problems, they're having
Yeah.
something else.
You don't know what's
Um,
going on behind that picture. Right. Exactly.
you
Yeah.
you don't know. And it's also, it can serve it as a great tool, because I know when Mr. Jack, when my pup had heart failure and he was sick, oh my gosh, I was sharing on my stories, and so many people reached out and were so supportive, and it actually was really helpful for me, and it still is. Like, I still get messages, I still get, things, and so there are good things that come from it. You can connect with people that you would have never met somewhere, but you have to go in with the mind frame. You
Right.
have to go in before you turn your phone on and say, okay, I'm just going in. It's not a comparison. This is just like I'm watching television and blah, blah, blah. And it's helped me.
Good. That helps. That's a smart move. All right. I'll try that.
Yeah.
I'm going to try
And
teach
try that
my
with the
kids that.
girls. Try that with your kids, because
I'll
I
try it
think
with.
the kids would be smarter.
Well, Anna's been sucked into this TikTok thing now lately. She does this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but she goes. I'll give her credit. I try not to give her too much trouble because she works her ass off. She goes to school. She's getting good grades. She stays. For some reason, she's an all-night studier. So I'll come home at 5 a.m. and she's up. And I'm like, why don't you go to bed?
Oh, my
But
God.
yeah, but that's how she does it. So I almost don't want to say. I've tried the whole get up in the morning and study in the morning. She's like, it doesn't work for me. So I'm like, all right, we'll do your
Oh,
thing.
that doesn't work for me either. I can't
Really?
study in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not one that like has to shower before bed, but in the morning, I tried to shower in the morning when I wake up, and I will lay down in the shower and just be like, so that doesn't work for me.
Are you a coffee person? Do you do coffee?
I wake up and I have coffee, and I can't talk to anybody for like the first like half hour. Like,
Yeah,
don't talk to me,
I
because
gotta have a coffee.
I'm just how I'm like I'm still in dreamland. I'm coming out like, where am I?
Right.
Who's this? What's
Yeah.
going? I'm back here again. Like
Another day.
Another? What's
all right.
Oh, we're in that thing again. That's still that pandemic. Okay. Okay. I guess
Yeah, I keep waiting to wake up and have there be no pandemic. I keep waiting to wake
I
up.
keep waking up too and waiting for it.
I know. I keep waking up like I was on the ship when the pandemic broke and they sent us home. One morning I want to wake up just in that cabin and like, oh, it was all a dream. It was all a dream.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Uh,
I'm like, wait a second. I'm in France on a movie set. What's happening?
What's happening? Good things do come true.
Yes. This reality is what I've been waiting for.
Phew.
Yeah.
That's the best. All right, man. All right, well, we're going to wrap it up. Jill, this was
All right.
fantastic. Is there anything else you want to talk about or plug or push? We talked about the movie coming out in March. You want to send people to
Yeah.
your social media? Whatever you tell me, I will put in the bio of the video as well, so it stays up there the whole time, and people can stay in contact with you moving forward. So,
Awesome. Well, yeah, I'm on I mainly do Instagram, and that's at Jilly.online or Jilly Online, Jilly online.
right.
If you're bored at home on Amazon Prime, I've got my special White Latina on there. Also, This Is Meg, the very indie film, pretty much based on my life, as well as it being a female stand-up comic in this business and the relationships that she has in Los Angeles. And you'll see a lot of familiar faces of comedians. And then also one called In Vino, which I play Ed Asner's daughter, and that's on Amazon Prime as well. It's a murder mystery movie, very family friendly, so you can have your kids watch that one. And yeah, and just follow me, and I'll let you know about Witness Infection coming out in March.
Excellent. Perfect. Everybody give it a round of applause right there. It's Jill-Michele Melean. Thank you so much for doing this. I really, really appreciate it. I know you have a million things going on, so to do my one show, I really appreciate it. You're the best.
I really appreciate it, Lenny. It was so good to catch up with you.
Yeah, it's good to see you. Yeah. Mwah. Folks, that's Jill. That's Jill. That was a great show. You guys are all here for the whole show. Thank you so much for sticking around. You were fantastic. She was great, man. I highly recommend. I can't wait to see the movie, but watch the White Latina special. Her material is very, very funny. Very funny comic. And I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Looks like you did. Nice. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Rachel. Thank you. Yeah, Brenda, watch the special as soon as it's on now. You don't have to wait for that. That's on Amazon right now. So you can go to Amazon and watch that special. The movie will be out in March. Also, when we get information on that video on demand, anything when it's released, I'll go back to the bio and put that in the bio as well. So you guys can go and watch that movie because I can't wait to see the movie. You guys have been great. As always, thank you so much. I'll see you next week. Take care of yourselves. Do me a favor. Dream of Pinky.
Lenny Schmidt Quarantine Comedy was created, produced, and is hosted by Lenny Schmidt. We live stream on YouTube at 6 p.m. Pacific every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Special episodes occasionally stream or are uploaded on Tuesday and Thursday. Every episode is also launched as a podcast and can be heard on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. If you enjoyed the show, please like the video. If you really like it, share the video. If you really, really like it, please subscribe to the Lenny Schmidt Comedy channel on YouTube. You'll get updates on this and numerous other online comedy content that my dad produces. Check the info section below for detailed information on all of our guests. If you are a fan, you can follow and support them as well. Go to their page, like their content, buy their albums, purchase their shirt, any merch they may be selling. Anything you do will support performers will literally help save the arts. In fact, if you want to support this show financially, just go to lennyschmidt.com/ifyoucan or Venmo at Lenny Schmidt Comedy. If you donate as little as $1 or as much as $10,000, it will help pay for the stuff my dad keeps breaking. If you can't pay for the comedy content, that's okay. COVID sucks for all of us. Enjoy the free show. If you want to find a way to support what we do, just subscribe to Lenny Schmidt Comedy channel on YouTube. That really helps a lot. Thank you for listening to my dad's show, and as always, dream of Pinky.